And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a great show for you today. We got the gang from the American Angler, Captain Brian Kiyohara, and the boss, Lori Withee's in here today. We got all kinds of fun. We're going to be talking fishing, talking all kinds of lots of great Let's Talk Hookup information, and we want to hear from you. You stay tuned. It's going to be a great one. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
When bad weather and rough seas send other boats back to the dock, Seakeeper allows you to fish longer and fish harder, even in the roughest conditions. Here's great news. If your boat is between 27 and 32 feet, Seakeeper has you stabilized. The Seakeeper 2 is optimized to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on boats up to 35 feet. Even better, this Seakeeper 2 is so small it can fit inside a customized leaning post and operate off battery power, making installation fast and easy. Check out the Seakeeper demo boat at upcoming shows and arrange a free test ride on the boat with the Seakeeper team. Seakeeper has changed the lives of many Southern California anglers, including Pete Gray, and will allow you to stay on the fishing grounds when others need to head back to port. To learn more about how Seakeeper can change your life on the water and book your free demo ride, visit seakeeper.com/take-a-ride. Think about it. Eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on your boat. Once you feel it, you'll never boat without it. Seakeeper.
You've heard all about it. You know the angler's catching fish habit, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network. It'll be a great time today, talking fishing, talking the American Angler. Well, Brian, stoked to have you in here. You're here all the time. Very fun. One of our most popular guests, one of my favorite buds to be on the show and talk fishing. But you brought with us a very special treat who every person who rides the Angler is very familiar with, but we don't get to talk to her a lot on Let's Talk Hookup, and that is your partner, Lori. And, Lori, we are so stoked to have you. It's going to be a great show this morning, you guys.
Thanks, Rick. Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Rick.
Are you kidding me? I'm really excited, and a great time of year. This is things where the boat is still fishing. I know Ray's having a great trip right now, but the boat being gone, like this is when we start talking big fish trips. We got Fred Hall coming. I'm sure, this is kind of the maintenance-y type time, I'm sure, is on the not too far horizon. So lots going on and lots of interaction with your folks.
Pretty much. That you hit it on the head. It's the time. Planning, maintenance, the whole Fred Hall show, all of that. It's busy time.
Yeah, but the boat is out fishing right now. You're the other member of the team, captain and owner-operator Ray Lopez is on the boat right now, right?
Yeah, he has the boat out on the 14-day trip, and they're at the bank scratching a few fish.
Cool.
Yeah.
And is this a Ken's trip? Is that the trip that's going on right now?
So we are on an Accurate trip right now.
Okay, cool.
So Gary Taroka represents Jack on the trip, and then next trip we have our same old-timers that have been fishing with us on. It used to be an Abbott trip, but Ben's kind of tapping out on it, that he's getting older, spend more time on the beach. And then our final trip of the year is Ken's 15-day.
Awesome. And now this time of year, is that the common thing that we do? It's all longer trips?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's like that surf movie, Endless Summer. We're always chasing the warm water. It's what we do.
That's awesome. Well, Lori, this is the first time getting to, at least for when I'm here, to have you behind the microphone. So, one, I want to say good morning, and so stoked that you came to join us this morning. It's going to be very fun because you guys, one thing that we talk about on Let's Talk Hookup all the time, and all of the callers will always, shadow that same thought, is you guys create such a true, it's a family and a team atmosphere, and you guys have the advantage, and then that starts when the phone rings, and they get to hear your happy voice every time on the phone. And I'm so thankful that you get to come here, and we get to share some fun having you on the radio this morning.
I appreciate that, Rick. Thank you. I'm so grateful every day. I just get to come to work and do what I love to do, surrounded by really good people. I'd say Brian and I probably talk, 20 times a day. So, just everything from something that's pretty important to maybe doesn't seem like it's that important, but when it comes down to it, it all is.
It does, and I get lucky enough to be down at the shop, and I get to talk to a lot of guys that are going fishing on the boat, and you find that, lots of fishermen out there love going fishing on all the boats, and nobody needs to say it. It goes without saying. All of the boats do a fantastic job. We are so lucky to have all of the great operations that we do in San Diego, and the long-range community is such a family. With that said, people that ride the Angler, that is their boat, and they're part of the team, and they're part of the family, and that's what you and Brian and Ray create. You guys do such an amazing job just taking such good care of everybody. And I hear it all the time in the shop. We love it. We love Lori. I only go fishing when Ray's driving the boat, and I do this trip every year. And you guys just do such a great job. And the customer service doesn't start when they get on the boat. It starts so much beyond that. And I know that everybody loves the special treatment that you give everyone.
You're only as good as all the people that surround you, and we really are blessed to have a lot of good people. I call my dad for advice all the time because he was in the industry for so many years. And, again, I talk to Brian all the time. And I'll tell you, when I promise somebody something in the galley, Josh is always right there. Josh, this guy has to have zucchini every night. No problem, Lori. So, it makes it easier.
That brings up a great thing that a lot of people may not, be aware of, all those little behind-the-scenes that happen, that if somebody, hasn't had an opportunity to go on a boat like the American Angler yet, maybe they've done a lot of half-day fishing, and they fish full-day trips with Taro and Captain Booger all the time, and they love that kind of fishing, but they've never been. And, the amount of accommodation that'll go through to somebody if they have whatever it may be. If you're gone for multiple days at a time and you've got some dietary restrictions, or you want to eat fish every night, you guys will just do whatever it takes to provide the perfect fishing vacation for somebody.
Yeah, and he rents his own wheelhouse down in the galley, and he is always, yes, whatever.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he does not complain, so he's pretty special.
That's awesome. Well, we're really excited to talk fishing and talk the boat. And, for those that have not been on the Angler, maybe you guys together could kind of tell a little bit of our audience a little bit about the boat, and, just the style of trips that get run throughout the year, and just some of the things that make you proud and, make up what a great operation the Angler is.
I would say one of the biggest aspects to our success has been Lori's dad, Lance. From day one, when me and Sam bought the Pacific Queen and graduated to the American Angler, her dad, Lance, is just a wealth of knowledge. He was Point Loma sport fishing manager at one time, owned the Daily Double, and then obviously the biggest claim to fame was owning and operating that Vagabond for so many successful years. And for us being able to fall back on Lance for different types of questions, when different scenarios pop up, it's been invaluable. I would have to say it's been great.
His morals and the way he taught us to treat people, and not just about the dollar. It's about the person.
Yeah.
And so we've always sort of followed that. And him and I mean, every situation is a unique situation. Why somebody has to cancel, what happened.
Sure.
Or, and he and Brian and I'll sit and talk about it. I'll call Dad and we'll.
I love that.
It's every person's important.
That's so you can make $1 from one person one time, or maybe you save them $1 and you make a more difficult decision, but you earn a customer for a lifetime. And that's, you hear it all the time. People that ride with you guys, that's it, man. They find their home real quick.
It's a small business, and it's people are people, so it's important to remember that.
You guys very commonly take a slightly smaller group of people than some of the other operations do, and it's probably even easier to create that family feeling when you're on the boat. There's the same number of crew members, but maybe a little bit smaller group of people on your trips.
For us, for me, when I drive the boat, at least, that's my biggest challenge. I always tell the people that we've seen fishing as good as it gets, and we've seen some pretty tough fishing over the years as well. The biggest challenge is getting everybody, crew, customers, everyone that's on the trip to buy into the whole program, to get along. And, you hear that banter, you go to Petco, and, all you hear is, and so when I walk into the galley in the evening for our evening get-togethers and our talks, it's like when the galley is just noisy and everyone's talking, that's the challenge. Yeah, it's the challenge. Make everyone on the boat buy into it.
That's cool. And that is both, through the aid of yourself and then your crew. Same deal. They are so personable. Like every one of them they're really, really good people. They're people, they're very good at it. And that's not always the easiest skill to obtain, because we, as the angler, are so excited. It's time. It's our 5-day trip, and we've been waiting all year for this, and we're nothing but excited. And you may not know behind the scenes that guy is on his, 4th trip in a row and hasn't seen his girl since last week. And, I was down from my nap and fishing got really good, but you would just never know. Your guys are so good at just, that's their thing that they deal with. And man, they just, you would never know that anything wasn't the best day in the world when you step on that boat for everybody. They're so stoked that you're there and we're going fishing.
We got a good group of kids right now.
You do. You really do.
It's, we've just been fortunate over the years. It's just.
Well, that's not really true. Brian sort of shapes and molds, and It's
I believe that.
Chance.
Lectures.
Yeah.
Daily lectures.
It doesn't start out that way.
Daily lectures.
One thing that's very cool about the group of young guys you have working for you is that there's a lot of very young and hungry and so stoked to be there guys that are on the boat. It's a lot of young men that you can tell their whole world is doing that. And you clearly do a great job of both finding the right people and mentoring them, because the pedigree of people that worked for you and have now moved on to, not to say bigger and better things, but their own things is fantastic, as far as, guys that are running their own boats or owning their own operations. And clearly you are very good at putting people on the right path to success if they want to stay in this industry.
I was fortunate to work for Frank Lopresti and Steve Loomis for over 10 years. And number one, just learning by listening to their stories and their values and the way they operate on a daily basis. It was what me and Tim and Dave Ikeda and a lot of the guys that own our own boats now, what we learned at that time, it was priceless. And continuing, the majority of the fleet wouldn't exist without Frank. And Frank has helped us all out, and it's time to give back for guys like myself and Tim, getting to that age. It's where Frank helped us out. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Frank Lopresti.
Sure.
And, time to pass it along, time to pass the torch, so to speak. And, it's pretty much the imprint that we want to leave in the sand is
That's awesome.
Helping kids out to better themselves.
I dig that, man. I dig that so much. I think that's great. And how do you guys go about that when, like the one that comes to my mind, just because he's such a good buddy of mine, is Taro. So Taro was on the boat for a lot of years, fantastic person. He left to go drive the San Diego, and now he's running his whole operation on the Liberty. And when that space becomes available, how do you guys go about finding the next guy up? How do you find the next person to fill the shoes of somebody like that? What's it like for you guys to find that right crew member?
It's very difficult, but yet at the same time, it just seems to happen.
It always happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of diamonds in the rough. Like right now, we're looking for a cook for next year.
Okay.
Always looking like who's going to be the next captain.
Yeah.
And just always open-minded, constantly looking. Obviously, with every hit, there's misses. It's just
sure.
If you bat if your batting average is 300, you're going to the All-Star game. So
you're always thinking about it.
It's kind of the same crew member-wise.
Uh-huh. That's cool. I really dig it. Well, we are so excited to have you guys both in here. So much to talk about. I mean, so much going on with the boat and the shows and everything else that's happening. Going to be a very fun day, and we would love to have you join us. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning, give us a call, 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. Not only are you going to get a chance to talk to Lori, talk to Brian, have some fun with us this morning, we are also giving away such a killer prize. And speaking of the Daily Double, we've got a Daily Double bonus prize. So one lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to get a half-day trip for two fishing on board the Daily Double at a Point Loma Sport Fishing. Includes all the rental tackle if you need that. In addition to that, you're also going to get a full-day trip to go fishing on the San Diego at a C4 Sport Fishing with our good buddy Captain Ryan Bosch. And so one lucky caller and a couple of great trips. If you want to get your shot at that great prize, or better yet, your chance to talk to Brian and Lori, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Sunday, January 19th, it's a huge one-day sale on everything at Fastlane Kayaks in Mission Bay. Hobie kayak demos on sale. Come see the new 2020 Hobie Pro Angler 360 and Hobie's new 2020 Mirage Drive Kick-Up Fin technology. Test one out on the bay for free. Hobie kayak demos throughout the day. Brew Surf stand-up paddleboard demos and tutorials too. Bixby motors on display and on sale. Plus, during the Big Bay Bass Sale and Seminar, Fastlane will have a Salty Crew sale with all the new stuff. There will be free lunch from Traeger, and Fastlane will have all Traeger grills, pellets, and accessories on sale. Sample the new Salty Crew beer from Coronado Brewing. There will be a huge raffle with tons of prizes, including a Brew Surf stand-up paddleboard, Salty Crew packages, Hobie accessories, and more. Fastlane will have the ultimate Bay Bass Seminar in the store with Benny Florentino, Afrin Abutton, Corey Sandin, and Matt Moyer, hosted by Pete Gray and Ron Lane from 10 to 11. Check out the Lowrance Fish Finder Seminar at 11:30. It's all at Fastlane Kayaks and Dana Landing in Mission Bay, Sunday, January 19th. Don't miss it.
When you want dependable service for your outboard, your first choice should be H&H Marine in Pacific Beach. Owner and mechanic Jeff Hughes found there was a real need for great outboard repair, and that's why he started H&H Marine. Jeff and his crew will service your motors at their convenient Garnett Avenue shop, in your boat slip, or at your home. As a factory-authorized Yamaha service center, when Jeff takes the job, it's done right. He's worked on Pete and Rick's boats for years and comes highly recommended. H&H Marine is also your source for new Yamaha and Mercury outboards, as well as original parts. Need a new bait tank? H&H Marine has you covered with top-of-the-line blue water bait tank sales and expert installation. In the market for a new boat, H&H Marine is a striper boat dealer with great prices on their full line of affordable fishing boats. So for outboard service when and where you want it, outboard sales, striper fishing boats, and bait tank systems, check out H&H Marine, 2680 Garnett Avenue in Pacific Beach. On the web at hhmarineservice.com.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hard-working crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, having a great time here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network. If you're joining us on that app, boy, it's such the easy way. I know, Lori, we were talking about it at the beginning of the show. It is the easiest way to catch Let's Talk Hookup with that app. It's whether you're listening live and you just fire it up on your phone or just when it's convenient. It's one button, no radio signal wherever you're at. I know it's the way that I always listen if I'm ever off or anything. We're so proud of having that app. It's been a great thing for us.
Well, and not saying that I do this, but if you're still laying in bed, you could just turn your phone on and there it is.
Oh, totally. You kidding me?
Not that I'm still bad. But.
No doubt. It's totally free. If you haven't got it already, it's way worth checking out. Well, it's a very easy way to listen to the show. You can call in with a push of a button, and better yet, if you're still in bed and your eyes aren't open yet, you can catch the show whenever you want it because Adam does such a great job. He always posts the shows the second that they're done, and you can catch it on your time. But very fun. It's totally free. You can get it in the App Store on your iPhone or the Google Play Store. If you got an Android device, just search Let's Talk Hookup, and it'll be right there for you. Hey, again, if you want to get through, it's going to be a very busy morning. 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. That's how you reach them. Let's Talk Hookup this morning. And we're going to get started on the phones this morning with Sean, who's a first-time caller. We always say first-time callers go right to the front of the line this morning. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, how you doing today?
We're doing great. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Listen, I just have a question. I'm just starting to get into wanting to get into the fishing aspect of my life. I'm close to retirement. And so my question is this, as far as this time of year, I thought I heard you guys mention something. I don't know if it has anything to do with the time of year. We don't really have a winter, but in terms of the trips, are they longer trips now because it's not the season, the time of year where it's the best for fish? I don't know. Does that have any correlation, the length of trips, or do you still have just as many half days as you do, like maybe 3-4 days or whatever, like that this time of year?
It has a direct correlation. The water temperature right now out front is anywhere from 58 to 62 degrees, whereas in the heart of the summertime, it's, we're fishing 70, 72-degree water, sometimes even warmer. So with that being said, there's still great fishing opportunities to be had. The guys are fishing rockfish and stuff in Mexico on that 9-mile bank. Obviously, wherever you live, Sean, you live in San Diego, so the half-day boats are fishing sand bass. There's still good opportunity to go fishing. It's just different. It's more sinker, bottom-orientated this time of year locally.
This type of fishing is very low stress. It's a lot easier. It's dropping a bait down to the bottom, getting a bite, winding your fish up, filling up your sack, having some great fish to take home and make fish tacos with. One of the things that Brian and the American Angler specializes in is catching, big, exciting game fish, tuna and yellowtail and things like that. So this time of year, that fishing is less of an opportunity closer to home. But with a boat like that, they can just go to wherever that great fishing exists. So there might not be tuna and yellowtail to catch out at front in the winter, but it shouldn't stop you from going. There are some definite bonuses to fishing, half-day and three-quarter-day time in this time of year that some would call the quote-unquote off-season because you might not have game fish, but very tasty fish, very easy to do, lesser people on the boats. If you're kind of wanting to get into it, this is a great time to get on the boat when there might only be, 15 or 20 or 30 people on the boat, where there might be double that in the summertime. So the guys in the boat are maybe able to give you a little bit more of a hand if you're kind of getting into it as a first-time guy. There'll be less people, in tangles. So it's a great time to get into it and enjoy it. But as far as chasing down the big fish that the American Angler is known for, that's why they do, longer trips this year. Is that fair to say?
My biggest tip is, Sean, is learn to watch the weather.
Mm-hmm. That's a great call.
Like this weekend, there's beautiful weather. So you have the opportunity to get on these columnette day-and-a-half trips aboard the Tomahawk and the Pacific Queen, the Vagabond. The weather's beautiful. That's the majority of the game right there. Learn to watch the weather. The forecasting is great.
What do you guys use and recommend? I mean, what about Sean? Sean's new to it, wanting to get into it. Weather forecasting is just in such another world than it was even 5 years ago, that you can whip out your iPhone and, with a couple of buttons, you can have a pretty darn good idea of what's coming, the next 3 days, next 5 days, the next 10 days. What do you like to use for your weather, Brian?
I personally like passage weather and buoy weather. There's a lot of windy fans out there, but it seems like Lori the same. It's like we just fire up passage.
Yeah, for me it's the easiest. It's the most user friendly because really everything's in color. It gives you it's very easy to use. And
are those all app based? Are they websites? Are they both? The passage weather and the
It's an app and a website and a free website.
That's a good call. And I mean that's a cool thing that even if you're going on a trip, you've got the same knowledge that Brian has, and Lori has when you guys are making plans and things like that. It's a great one. Well, Sean, can't appreciate your phone call enough. Thanks for being a first-time caller with us, and definitely call us again if there's anything. As you said you're getting closer to retirement and wanting to do this. Man, I couldn't say enough good things about. There's a couple of things. Going on the shorter trips are very fun. They're easy to do. They'll help you with the rental tackle. And then, as you've done a few of those and you decide, man, I love it, there is just nothing like the experience of going on a boat like the American Angler. The level of service that is provided and the level of cuisine that's provided and things like that, they're really, really fun. And I know you guys mix in, oftentimes some shorter trips as kind of holes in the schedule allow for them, some, day and a halves and 3-day trips and things like that. And a great introduction to the style of operation that you guys use with the Angler.
We talked earlier at the beginning of the show about preparations coming up, maintenance being one of them. Expediting maintenance and doing it as fast as possible. Last year we were able to run day-and-a-half open parties from Point Loma Sport Fishing in April and May.
That's cool.
They were great. We had great fishing, had the opportunity to meet a lot of new people, new customers. Yeah. I love introducing people to the boat.
That's cool.
Great.
That's cool. Sean, appreciate the phone call very much, buddy. Thanks for getting us started here on the phones. And, with those trips, I'm assuming it's probably that. It just depends. You block out X amount of time for maintenance, call it 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. But if you get done in 2, that leaves you a month to catch your breath and maybe put some, if there's a fishing opportunity, you guys will go fishing.
Yes, if it's provided.
I like it. Yeah. If you're on the boys enough to get that sanding and painting done, then it's on.
Yeah, and obviously it's Mother Nature, too.
Of course.
The last few years, that bluefin tuna early has been a blessing.
That's really cool. If we get lucky enough to have something like that, Lori, how do we find out about trips like that? Shorter trips for Sean, whether they be things that are already on the books for next year, or if an opportunity like that, if a day-and-a-half trip pops up, how does one get in on that early? You've always been great to let us know. We try to spread the word on Let's Talk Hookup, but what's the best way to find out about special and unique trips like that?
Sure. So what Brian was talking about, those earlier trips, that'll obviously depends
of course,
on the fish. But then once that happens, we'll have it on the website. We'll put it through Let's Talk Hookup. People can call. The website's AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. And then we have some day-and-a-half trips sprinkled out throughout the season. And we have started doing that on purpose, just because it's really nice to get new people on the boat, introduce them to long-range fishing. It's sort of a marketing strategy. And so that's also on the website, or just call me.
Your trips oftentimes get a group of people, like you kind of alluded to it, Bri, like you love to get a group of guys together and working together and having fun, and like you said, the crowd at the baseball game, you see it so often. Those guys, they might, those 2 fishing buddies that jumped on they jumped on this trip in the summer. They had such a good time with all these other guys that they didn't know before, but they shared the rail for 7 days and they had a blast. And next year, I'm going with those groups again. And And there's always opportunities to get on the boat. But oftentimes, a lot of the same guys will rebook, and trips do fill, and exciting things happen. And so I think sprinkling those trips in just to introduce people is such a great call, because there's a lot of times when your popular trips are they're sold out, or they're sold out a year in advance, or everybody that jumps off puts their money to jump right back on again.
It is really rewarding for somebody to do a day-and-a-half trip, and they had so much fun that they book a 5-day for the following season.
That's cool. I dig it. Well, the phones are absolutely packed solid. Everybody's excited to talk to you guys. Why don't we jump back in and talk to Jim? He's calling us from National City this morning. Hi, Jim. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I've fished on that boat several times, 5-day trips in the past. And, Brian, I can't rave enough about that guy, how good he is.
Oh, thanks.
And Lori, yeah, Brian, and I talk to Booger all the time about you, and he's very
family.
Very, yeah, he loves you, man. But anyway, and Lori, she runs that office and that program there. I can't say enough how good she is.
Oh,
but
morning, Jim. Thanks.
Hey, this summer, Lori, I got to fish with your dad on the daily double on one of those half-day trips. And, boy, you go down in the galley, and that gentleman is holding court down there, boy.
That's cool.
He takes you way back, in that fishing industry. And, that day I spent fishing with him, that half-day, and he couldn't, Lori, he talked an awful lot about you and your daughter, his granddaughter, and, it was just a real pleasure experience, meeting somebody like that from the industry. And anyway, I heard you guys were on the show today. Another thing that, when I fished on the Angler, that crew, you look at the guys that have come through that boat. You got Taro, you got Andrew, you got Cameron. The list goes on and on of quality skippers and people that have come through that boat as far as working on that boat. So I can't say enough about the boat, the operation, and all the people that run that operation. So thank you for taking my call, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, Jim, thank you so much.
Good words, Jim. Appreciate the phone call, buddy, very much. Thanks a lot for that. How about we jump right back in, talk to Charlie. He's calling us from Gardena this morning. What's up, Charlie? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I had a question for Brian. And, Brian, could you tell me what type of fishing we'd be doing on the Cadota 8-day trip?
Typically the last 8 years it's been yellowtail fishing, early season bluefin fishing on the way down, yellowtail fishing at Aleos Rocks or the Ridge. And that time of year, it's world-class yellowtail fishing. It's good. Originally, the first 25 years of my fishing career, it was pretty much you can go to the bank with year-round yellowfin tuna fishing at Aleos Rocks. And that's kind of why we have these 8-day trips. You can go catch yellowfin tuna and yellowtail in the same place, the same anchor job. But for some reason, the last 10 years, they've kind of been non-existent around the rocks. So hopefully they'll be there this spring for us, and we'll be able to mix in some yellowfin tuna fishing as well.
With the trip like that, with an 8-day trip, I think what I'm trying to say is, like, if a gentleman is trying to decide, or a lady's trying to decide on going on a fishing trip, and they know they want to go this year, what is the determining factor on amount of days? Like, how does I think what I'm trying to say, like, how does a 5-day differ from an 8-day trip? What kind of different experiences exist? When does one make the call of, the little bit of extra cost is going to provide this difference? Is it strictly just I get more days and more opportunity? When somebody's kind of looking at the schedule, trying to decide what length of trips to book, what kinds of differences, goes through your mind for someone in that position?
It's like skiing or snowboarding. It's like you go up to the mountain for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the second day, you're kind of getting the feel for it.
Sure.
But if you're able to go up for a week, you're experiencing different, conditions, variables, all of that, and you just improve.
Sure.
Just time-wise. Obviously, the range. Most 5-day trips we're within 300 miles from San Diego. an 8-day trip opens that up where we're 500 miles from San Diego.
And on a trip like Charlie is talking about, an 8-day trip in June, I would think that over these last couple of years would be not as easy to pack his fishing tackle as it would have maybe been, when you were talking about going to Alejos and always having the similar grade yellowtail and similar grade yellowfin tuna, you have 2 or 3 outfits, away you go. But man, that trip coming up in June might be fishing 20-pound yellowtail on the beach somewhere, or 200-pound bluefin outside Clemente, or everything in between. Like, there's so many options that seem available these last few years.
Agreed. And our regulars are pretty much, geared up for it. But the biggest thing is don't get intimidated by a thought like that. Because, say, if Charlie comes out and he doesn't have 80-pound, we've got tons of reels.
Okay.
Or tackle, just for people that don't have everything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much over the years, Penn Reels, Accurate, Avid, they've all been fantastic. CalStar has been fantastic to us, providing us with the latest reels, rods, everything, for us to loan out. We'll charge you for the monofilament we wind on it, but otherwise don't be intimidated by the whole tackle thought.
But that's such a great thing, because some of that gear, I always say in the shop, big fish gear is the hardest thing to justify buying, because you spend the most amount of money and you oftentimes use it the least amount of times. And if you wanted to buy a premium 2-speed reel and a premium CalStar rod, you can oftentimes be looking $1,000 or more. And sometimes that might be a thing. Well, I'm sure I can afford going on this trip, but sometimes I'm a third of my trip cost I might need to spend in tackle. But if somebody is limited on that, you guys have very, very good gear. You can take that part out of your thought process.
Absolutely. And these companies now, they realize that, and they provide us with gear.
Sure.
And it gives the person fishes with an Accurate. Oh man, this thing's smooth. It's nice.
I see the end result all the time, and I'm like the biggest proponent for that. We are lucky at Fisherman's that we've got a really good relationship with a lot of those manufacturers. I always tell them the same thing. I think that is, of course, second to Let's Talk Hookup. Yeah. I think that is their very best marketing strategy. Like, put your money towards that, because I get to see it all the time. The number of people who caught their 200-pounder on Reel X, and it might be anything. I'm a big Shimano Talica fan,
sure,
but if a guy went on the boat and he got whatever this type of loaner tackle from the boat and he used it, and he loved it, the odds of him buying that piece of gear are so much higher than anything else. I think it's awesome, and it's a great relationship for you guys, for the boats. It's a win for everybody, and I love that a guy can go, and if he's limited on tackle, do you just do you call Lori ahead of time? Do you not worry about what's the best thing if you're in that scenario and you're Charlie and you're going on an 8-day and you think you might need a heavier piece of gear to use in the boat? How do you go about that?
So if Charlie calls in, and I'm looking at the list here, so we've got 2 spots left, Charlie, if you're interested on the Cadota trip. And I ask if you have gear or if you need to borrow gear.
Okay.
So we do have a limited amount of gear, but the guys have enough to outfit 8 to 10 guys with everything.
Awesome.
And with that being said, at the beginning of this season, when they had those bluefin trips, we were graciously given some very beautiful gear rods from CalStar. I had a guy call that was on one of those bluefin trips, and he and his entire crew of guys went out and bought CalStar rods.
That's cool.
And they had never been on the boat before or used CalStar rods.
Great too if a father's thinking about bringing his son or bringing a buddy that hasn't been before. Maybe he's got gear but his buddy doesn't. It's just nice knowing that you're not. This isn't ultra beat up, been through the ringer. This is great, great tackle, ready to go catch fish.
Oh, it's win-win.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
I dig
win-win.
it.
And right now, it's like I was starting to think about it. We should probably get some of our reels in the cans before Fred Hall season, or we might not get it back. We're the Ken's boat.
That's cool. Charlie, we appreciate the phone call very much. Good luck on your 8-day trip in June. And, boy, that's cool, Lori. Sounds like there's a couple of spots. And, boy, talk about a great time of year to be doing an 8-day. June offers all kinds of variety, man. Like we were saying, you could foreseeably be all up and down the coast a whole lot of miles in either direction. There's been some pretty fantastic fishing in June the last couple of years.
boy, just historically, early season albacore, bluefin, all that. It's like on that Cadota trip, we've seen it, pretty much seen it all.
I dig it. That's cool. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. A lot more of your phone calls. We're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the app and radio network.
The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence, delivers the top quality, comfort, and fishability you look for in a long-range boat. Veteran captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. With a top-notch crew and amenities, once you go on the Independence, you'll be back. Call Independent Sport Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check independentsportfishing.com. A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay. Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
It's Yamaha's Reliable Choice sales event. From January 1st to March 31st, power up with the choice of additional warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit on eligible select new 2.5 to 350 horsepower 4-strokes. For details, visit YamahaOutboards.com or your Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Been a crazy busy morning on the phones. All of the phones are packed up right now. If you want to give us a call, 833-288-0973. It's a good thing for a reminder, too. I know we've talked about plenty of times in the show, but the phone system here is slightly unique in that when all the lines are full, as they are right now, you will not get a busy signal. The phone will just continue to ring, and basically what happens is your phone call goes into a queue, and as soon as one of them opens up, it'll shoot you right into the queue, and then Adam will grab your phone call. So we always want to say, don't think that Adam's ignoring you back there. You just don't get a busy signal. But all the lines are full, but we've got a lot of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way still. So lots of fun, and we're excited to get to talk to you. Phones are packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Lori, talk to Brian. So we're going to jump right back in. Again, if you want to get through, it's 833-288-0973. Let's talk to Steve that's calling us from all the way out in Texas. And, Steve, I would guess you're probably listening to us on the app this morning. Good morning.
That's correct. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for taking the call. I have a 13-year-old son, and I took him fishing on the Daily Double about 6 years ago, and he got sick. And I get sick as well, and I use the patch, but he isn't able to use the patch yet. So I read recently in a magazine about the relief band, and I'm interested to know and get everybody's opinion, advice on seasickness remedies for kids. What works?
Great question.
I've had passengers that swear by that relief band, but I've, at the same token, Steve, to be honest with you, I've had passengers not feeling so good while they're wearing it as well.
Yeah. And for kids, I remember when I took a bunch of kids, we went whale watching, and they had put the ginger behind their ear. And there's different remedies, but if you can forecast and see what the weather is, and especially if they're younger, I take that into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, forecasting's a great call. And just out of our curiosity, how old is your son?
He's 13 now, but he's scared to go back out because of that experience, unfortunately.
The very basic over-the-counter that we sell at the shop is Bonine, and it's for most part it's very similar to Dramamine. The reason we sell that one is it doesn't cause the drowsiness that Dramamine does, and it's for 12 and under. So I know that you could certainly take that. And with a lot of this isn't maybe necessarily, for your direct answer, but for a lot of people that may be thinking the same thing out there, a lot of motion sickness medications are preventatives more than they are cures. So you want to get them into your system early. If somebody is susceptible to motion sickness, we often will recommend taking that Bonine a full 24 hours before you go, get it into your system and get it working, and then taking an additional one the morning of your trip so that is India. A lot of times if somebody pops one before they get on the boat, perhaps the motion sickness might, catch you before that has kind of taken over and gotten into your bloodstream. In any case, you always want to talk to your doctor as always before taking any type of medication. But I think that a lot of times, too, if you're going out in good weather and you have something like that relief band, whether it truly works for you or it creates a good placebo, sometimes in a younger person like that, if you have the attitude of you're going on a good day and you give them this thing like, well, don't worry because this will make you not get seasick. Sometimes just putting that, thought into motion like a safety thing will a lot of times cure a problem before it starts.
And I'll tell you another thing that's really important is what they eat. So if you had something sweet like a donut, even for me, I use the patch. I don't drink coffee on the boat because it upsets my stomach. And so for a kid to have something, like I said, a donut in the morning, that could turn things.
Mm-hmm. Maybe when you're leaving in the morning, go up in the bow and check out all the cool sights and sounds as you're going so you don't have much in the way of exhaust fumes and that kind of stuff. Like, I would say just do a good job when you get him back up and anxious to go. Sounds like he's old enough to take some sort of motion sickness medication now, so I would go that route. Pick a nice day where the weather's going to be good, and then just eliminate every factor you can, whether it be diet or where you're at, nice day, good boat. Enjoy the weather, that kind of thing. I'll bet you'll turn everything back around and just provide a cool day.
Agreed.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you listening and certainly appreciate you on the app, and I'm sure you'll get him back out there, have a great time. We really appreciate the phone call. We're going to jump right back into it, talk to Mark. Mark's calling us from Santee this morning. Hi, Mark. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning, Mark.
I got a question for Brian. On a long-range trip, 4 to 5 days or something, do you fillet the fish daily, or do you just put them in a holding tank and wait till you get back?
No, we'll put them in a refrigerated seawater fish hold. So the whole well will be pressed with 29 to 31 degree refrigerated seawater. And so we'll bleed everything and get them down. So it'd be like immersed in ice. They turn out beautiful.
You guys give particular care to the fish. I know it's a point of pride that you have and your crew has for the catch of the fish. And I would say, again, everybody does a great job, but I think you guys take that great job to maybe even another level. It's a particular point for you and your crew on how you deal with the fish.
It's one of those things. I've always been so competitive in everything. Who could eat my cereal the fastest growing up? And so I challenge all our crew members, too, is if you're going to do something, why not try and be the best? Mm-hmm. And so we all take care of fish. A lot of the boats gill and gut. A lot of the boats bleed everything. But I challenge our crew all the time. It's who's going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it is just checking the wells all the time.
Okay.
And there's work to it. It just doesn't happen.
When you say checking the wells, what does that refer to?
Making sure they're not iced up.
Okay.
Making sure the temperature is holding. Bleeding it. Care of the fish. The old hot dog. Gaff it with no t-shirt on and flip the fish off the gaff. Looks real cool, but the fish is flying through the air 3 feet and slams and it's bruising itself on the deck. Well, now it's a gentle thing and spike it immediately so it doesn't beat itself up, bleed it, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's expensive.
Sure.
To go fishing, and what's our time worth to us? And the opportunity to take home a freshly caught sport fish and utilize it to its fullest, that's homage and pays the ultimate respect to these tuna and yellowtail that we catch. So to treat them with the utmost care, so everyone has the best quality type fish at the end, it's very important to us.
Well, I'll tell you what else is expensive is premium seafood, and like the world is like making that switch. You go into a place and you look into a high-end butcher case, and a premium loin of bluefin tuna is more expensive than a premium cut of beef, and that's what you're walking off the boat with. That there is a difference from 10 years ago when it was a frozen block of fish that you went to the top of the dock and you traded for cans. Now this fish comes off the boat. It's just you would be very hard-pressed to find somewhere to buy the quality of seafood that every passenger is coming off of the boat with.
Yeah, it's a small percentage of the world that gets to eat fresh fish like
that.
that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Too. And you can ask all of the processors out there at the end result, and, you clearly do a good job, because when you ask those guys, like the American Angler is the name that comes up every time. All these... you're always listed amongst the short list of like the very best, and it shows, because like you said, it's not you can do a great job or you can do a superior job, and I know that's what you guys strive for. It's pretty cool to see. I appreciate the phone call again very much, Mark. Thanks a lot for your phone call. Maybe real quick, just before we finish that, explain. We hear the term all the time, RSW and refrigerated seawater, and what. But maybe just give us a quick, for somebody that has heard it a whole bunch but isn't familiar, exactly how the fish hold works on a boat like that.
It's
not a freezer anymore.
Before we put a lot of salt, make a brine solution so the salt water would not freeze, and we would bring them down to 10 degrees, 12 degrees, and we would just rock them. They'd be a brick when they come out. And, on the Pacific Queen when we had it, we kind of had the same setup, back then. And Tim on the Royal Star, he was the first one in the long-range fleet to kind of introduce, instead of bringing the water down to 15 degrees, keep it at 31 degrees so the fish doesn't freeze.
It just stays nice and cold.
Nice and cold. I know the Searcher on shorter trips, the Pacific Queen, we kind of had our own RSW system. Which was similar, where we kept the water in the 30s, but when we would fillet them at the end of the trip, they would be beautiful.
Yeah.
And so now, every long-range boat keeps them fresh, where, the same-day service from the processor allows them to fillet it that day, and it's just been a win-win.
And you said that the temperature is a big deal. So whoever's got the duty of being the engineer of the fish holds, that's a very constant job, because you have this well full of water that is a constant temperature, but you have a great stop and you throw a bunch of quote unquote hot fish in there. That's obviously going to want to raise the temperature. So it's that guy's job to pump things up, cool it off, to compensate for that. There's a lot that goes into whoever's job is has that for the trip. There's a lot that goes into it.
Absolutely, because the tuna, that their core temperature is ambient to their water temperature. So in the summertime, just one body length per second in order to survive, he is 72 degrees. Now you hook him on a rod and reel, and now he's fine. It's just like us sprinting down the sidewalk. Their core temperature even gets hotter, and happy result, gapped in the head, bled. His core temperature is 85, 90 degrees.
Sure.
And so, like you say, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Hot fish.
You throw a bunch of, hot things into your cold glass, it's going to heat right up. So it's cool. Well, it's very cool to see all the behind the scenes. So we don't ever think about it or see it. We just know we catch a fish, we come off the angler, we're going to have a primo piece of bluefin at the end of the day. But there's a lot that goes into it. It's pretty darn cool. Hey, again, Mike, we sure appreciate the phone call. Let's jump right back into them and talk to John. John's calls from El Segundo this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I just wanted to thank Lori and Brian for something that I should have done about many times over the last few years. I had a friend, my best friend, who was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he did a lot of fishing in his last year, but near the end he could not make a trip on the American Angler, a 3-day, and asked me to take his 10-year-old son on that trip for him. And Lori helped us out when we arrived at the landing with storing our gear, etc. And then Brian, once we got on the boat, took care of us. And I can't even explain how excellent the boat, the service, and their help was. And I never forgot it. And it's been a long time. I should have spoke up sooner. They're an incredible boat.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it.
Yeah, John, thank you.
That's awesome, John.
Sorry for your loss.
That's a great story, and we're glad that you were able to honor your buddy and go fishing. That's awesome. Appreciate the phone call very much. When we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour. We got more of your phone calls. We're going to find out what's biting on the water. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Okay, we're here at beautiful Whalers Cove Lodge in Angoon, Alaska, with Mark Powers, owner and operator of the lodge, and Chris Martino, who's running the new kayak program here at Whalers Cove Lodge. Mark, tell us about this new kayak program.
Kayaking in Alaska was just a natural progression for us to move to. Got the conventional saltwater charter fleet. We've got amazing freshwater systems and eco tours. Kayak fishing has been something we've been watching for years. Aligned with Hobie, together a pretty amazing fleet.
Well, we've got tons of options. We've got a couple locations around the inshore area where we have kayaks staged. We've also got inflatables up in some of our freshwater systems. So we've got an opportunity to fish the lingcod, the halibut, all the 5 Pacific salmon species, Dolly Varden and cutthroat trout.
There's a dedicated page just for the kayak program on the website, whalerscovelodge.com.
I've experienced that freshwater fishing here as well as the saltwater fishing, and I can imagine fishing from a kayak has got to be just incredible.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
It's Yamaha's Reliable Choice Sales Event. From January 1st to March 31st, power up with the choice of additional warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit on eligible select new 2.5 to 350 horsepower 4-strokes. For details, visit YamahaOutboards.com or your Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.